There is a kind of feeling that never needs to be acknowledged out loud. It doesn't demand the spotlight, doesn't ask for the camera's attention, and doesn't depend on sweet words. It just appears, slowly but surely, when someone feels afraid of losing something. And that is when many people began to see something different in Chen Xingxu, especially whenever that feeling of jealousy surfaced, slipping between his calm expressions and professional demeanor, then inevitably dragging one name into the spotlight: Doraba Dilmurat. Chen Xingxu is not the type of man who is easy to read. His face often holds more secrets than he reveals. His smile is controlled, his words measured, and his every movement seems to be under complete control. But precisely because of that, even the slightest change becomes so striking. When that feeling is touched, when jealousy arises uninvited, all layers of calmness seem to crack. Not completely broken, but enough to reveal the contents of a heart that had been tightly hidden. In certain moments, when Doraba became the center of conversation or attention, Chen Xingxu seemed different. His gaze was no longer neutral. There was a split-second pause that felt too long. His jaw tightened, his eyes darkened, and there was a brief silence that spoke louder than any words. He said nothing, but that was when everything felt most clear. Jealousy does not come with an explosion of emotion. It is present like a small, contained fire, warm but dangerous because it never truly goes out. Many people believe that jealousy is a weakness, but in this context, jealousy feels like the most naked honesty, because a person would not be jealous if they did not care. A person would not be disturbed if their heart was empty. And Chen Xingxu, with all his self-control, seemed too disturbed every time there was a distance, whether real or imaginary, between himself and Doraba. It was as if there was a deep need to ensure that he was still in the same place, in an irreplaceable emotional space. What Chen Xingxu wanted, judging from the way he behaved, was not cheap thrills or gossip that set social media ablaze. He never seemed to chase the spotlight. On the contrary, he often appeared to hold back, guarding his boundaries, choosing silence. But that silence was not a sign of a lack of feelings. It was a form of protection. Protection of something too precious to be gambled away carelessly. And when jealousy arose, all that protection weakened, opening a small crack through which his true feelings peeked out. There is something very human in the way she reacts. The way she stands a little closer, as if distance matters. The way she pays closer attention, as if the world around her dims when Doraba is near. The way her expression changes when she feels her presence threatened by others, even by situations that may only exist in her own mind. None of it seemed contrived. It was too subtle to be engineered, too consistent to be considered a coincidence. Doraba, with her natural charm, did attract attention easily. Her smile was light, her laughter warm, and her aura seemed to bring light wherever she went. But the way Chen Xingxu responded to her presence felt different from the others. There is caution, there is seriousness, there is a kind of emotional burden that is not seen in ordinary interactions. It is as if, for him, Doraba is not just a coworker or a popular figure, but someone whose presence has a special weight in his life. This is where many fans began to feel that what they were witnessing was not just the result of professional chemistry. Chemistry can be built, trained, and perfected for the screen. But the jealousy that arises spontaneously, that escapes control is something that is difficult to fake. It doesn't follow the script. It doesn't obey directions. It just appears honest, raw, and real. The public reaction was inevitable. Social media was flooded with speculation, analysis, video clips, and repeated screenshots. Every glance was magnified in meaning, every pause dissected for emotion. Some believed wholeheartedly that this was love growing quietly. Others chose to be rational, reminding everyone that the entertainment industry often creates illusions. But even the most skeptical found it difficult to deny one thing. There were real emotions involved, and those emotions came from a very personal place. This story was so moving not because of their celebrity status, but because it reflected the experiences of many people. About loving without daring to say it. About hiding jealousy to maintain the status quo. About the desire to possess, but also the fear of going too far. Chen Xingxu, in his silence and restraint, seems to represent the fragile side of humanity that is rarely shown. That even someone who appears calm can falter when their heart is involved. Perhaps there will never be an official acknowledgement. Perhaps there will never be an answer that satisfies everyone. But for many fans, that no longer matters. Because in every changing expression, in every protective gesture that emerges when jealousy creeps in, they feel they have seen enough truth. That behind the professionalism and calm, there are feelings that are alive, breathing, and continuing to struggle to survive in silence. And perhaps that is precisely what is most stirring. Unspoken love, unvoiced jealousy, and desires that are never truly expressed, all blend into one emotional story that feels real, intense, and unforgettable. If love can indeed be recognized without words, then for many people, Chen Xingxu had expressed it very clearly, precisely when he was unable to hide his jealousy. In the end, not all feelings need to be acknowledged. Not all love has to be shouted out with words. Sometimes, a single glance that changes, a pause that lingers too long, and a jealousy that can't be hidden, is enough to say it all. Is this real love, or just an emotion too deep to express? The answer may be different for everyone. Now we want to hear your opinion. Do you think Chen Xingxu's jealousy is proof of genuine feelings, or just part of the professional dynamics in the entertainment world? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because there are many more emotional stories and in-depth discussions coming your way. See you in the next video.